My name is Michael Harper. I'm 42 years old. I own a construction company in Austin, Texas. I'm not rich, but I've done well for myself. Paid off the mortgage, drive a decent truck, got a loyal team. I've been married to Emily for 11 years. At least, I thought I was. Up until 2 weeks ago, I believed I had everything a man could want. A good wife. A stable life. A business I built with my own hands. Turns out, all I had was a well-decorated lie. It all started on a Friday night. Emily wanted to go out. Said we needed a break from routine. Let's do something fun, she said. Baseball game. Rangers versus Astros. She even got the tickets. Kevin, my business partner, was going too. He was recently divorced, and Emily said he could use a night out. I agreed. I liked Kevin. Trusted him. Been through thick and thin together building the company. We sat together at the stadium. Third row, right side. I got beers. Emily had nachos. Kevin cracked jokes like always. It felt normal. Comfortable. Too comfortable. Then came the kiss cam. You know how it works. Big screen pans across couples in the crowd. Cheesy music. People laugh. Some wave. Some kiss. It's all in fun. Until it landed on us. Only, not me and Emily. It landed on Emily and Kevin. And they kissed. Not a peck. Not some joke. A real kiss. Real enough that the crowd cheered. Someone even whistled. I heard a guy behind me yell, "Wait, isn't she with that guy next to them?" Emily pulled back, laughed nervously. Kevin tried to shrug it off. I sat there frozen. She looked at me, half smiling. It was just the camera, she whispered. You know how awkward those things are. I didn't say a word. I stood up. Walked past the rows. Left the stadium. Got in my truck and drove. No direction. No plan. Just headlights and silence. My phone buzzed. I ignored it. My chest was tight. My jaw locked. I didn't cry. Didn't scream. I just went cold. Deep, controlled cold. When I got home, it was past midnight. Emily was already there. Lights off. She left a note on the counter. Didn't mean anything. Call me when you're ready. I crumpled it. Sat on the porch. Stared at nothing for an hour. Then I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to beg for honesty. I was going to find the truth myself. And when I had it, I was going to bury them in it. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened. Made coffee. Asked how I slept. I said, fine. Said I had errands to run. She kissed me on the cheek like she always did. I felt nothing. Just calculation. I waited until she left. Then I opened her laptop. She'd always said I could use it anytime. That was her second mistake. The first was thinking I was too stupid to notice. Her inbox was clean. Too clean. But she didn't know I know how to dig. I checked her deleted folder. Nothing there. Then I opened Slack. She used it for her job at a small PR firm. And that's where I found him. Not Kevin. Another guy. Rick. Username, @trainerick. Messages like Monday was intense and can't wait for the next round were laced with hearts and inside jokes. One message stood out. Kevin sweet but soft. You fire. I stared at the screen. my hands didn't shake. I just took a screenshot. Then another. Then I went into our shared cloud account and pulled up the Ring camera history. Tuesday morning. 5:53 a.m. A man in gym clothes walks up to our side gate. Emily lets him in. They disappear inside. He leaves at 7:12. I zoomed in. Same guy from her photos. Tall. Fit. Probably early 30s. And now, number 2. That evening, I smiled through dinner. Asked her about work. She lied through her teeth. Said it was slow. I nodded, chewed my steak, and looked her in the eyes. She blinked first. I went to bed early. I needed rest. Tomorrow, I'd dig deeper. I pulled our phone bill. Cross-referenced numbers. One kept popping up. Midnights. Lunch breaks. Always short calls. I looked it up. Douglas Montgomery. Manager at Capital City Bank. I checked her calendar. Investment check-in meetings with Doug. Weekly. Always after 5 p.m. I checked my credit card statements. Fancy coffee shops near his office. I checked Instagram. Found his profile. Clean-cut guy. Navy suits. Wife and 2 kids in the photos. He hadn't posted since May. I sent myself his profile link. Saved screenshots. Now we had 3. Kevin. Rick. Doug. Each one serving a different purpose. Kevin for emotions. Rick for fun. Doug for finances. And me? The dumb husband funding all of it. But I wasn't dumb. Not anymore. I started printing. All of it. Messages. Call logs. Security cam stills. Her investment calendar. I built folders. Labeled them. Stashed them in a locked drawer in my office. Then I built a timeline. Crossed dates. Matched calls to messages. Everything lined up. Like she'd rehearsed it. And here's the worst part, she was good. Too good. She knew how to cover her tracks. But she made one mistake. She underestimated me. I didn't sleep much that week. I was too busy preparing. Every night, while she slept next to me, I was laying bricks. Not literal ones. Revenge bricks. Cold, calculated planning. Every step had to be precise. No outbursts. No clues. Just silence. Just smiles. And waiting. The plan was simple. Find every lie. Identify every man. Learn their schedules. Their weaknesses. Their pressure points. Then, hit them. One by one. Clean. Quiet. Public. And Emily? I'd save her for last. Because the queen always falls the hardest. The first one I went after was Kevin. He was the closest. The most obvious. And honestly, the one that made it feel personal. Business partner. Friend. Almost like family. We started Harper Build together. Long nights. Tough clients. Laughed through our first 6-figure contract. When my dad died, Kevin was the one who helped me finish the funeral arrangements. So yeah, this one stung. But that didn't stop me. I waited until Friday. We had a regular board meeting at 10 a.m. That day, I showed up early. Set up my laptop in the conference room. Double-checked the files. The slideshow. The backup. I was calm. Numb, but focused. Kevin walked in at 9:58, late as usual. Coffee in hand, smiling like a man with nothing to hide. He made some dumb joke about traffic. I nodded. Didn't laugh. He didn't notice. The meeting began like always. Sales numbers. Project timelines. Staffing changes. Then I said, before we wrap, there's one last item. I clicked to the next slide. There it was. A photo of him and Emily on the kiss cam. The whole room froze. Kevin blinked, confused. Wait, is this a joke? I clicked again. Ring camera footage. Kevin walking up our driveway at night. Emily opening the door. Wearing pajamas. Hugging him. Letting him in. I didn't speak. Just clicked again. Screenshots of texts. Slack messages. Can't wait to see you again. He has no clue. Kevin stood up, face pale. Mike, look, man, this isn't what it looks like. I looked him in the eye. My voice was steady. You done here. Effective immediately. HR has the termination papers. Security's waiting in the lobby. You've got 10 minutes to clear your office. He opened his mouth again, but I didn't let him speak. I just stood up. Pushed back my chair. Left the room. The silence behind me felt better than applause. Next was Rick. The trainer. He was cocky. Full of himself. Always posting shirtless gym selfies on Instagram with captions like "Be the beast, not the prey." Yeah. Real alpha energy. I made an appointment. Told him my name was Jake and I needed a consultation for personal training. He booked me for Thursday, 6 p.m., at a private studio he rented out behind a yoga center. I showed up wearing gym clothes. Ball cap pulled low. When he opened the door, I knew he didn't recognize me. He shook my hand. Gave me the usual gym guy spiel. Asked about my goals. I said, my goal is to make sure my wife never sees you again. He froze. I pulled off the hat. His eyes widened. Emily Harper, I said. Ring any bells? He opened his mouth, then closed it. I took out a manila envelope. Set it on the counter. Inside, printouts of his messages to her, screenshots of him entering my house, even one photo of her kissing him in the driveway while he was shirtless. Here's how this is going to go, I said. You going to cut contact. Right now. Text her. Tell her it's over. Block her number. Delete every message. If you don't, this envelope goes to your fiancé. And your gym's owner. And your client group chat. He tried to laugh. You can't be serious. I stepped closer. Try me. He looked down. Then at his phone. He tapped quickly. Typed a message. Hey, Em. We can't do this anymore. I'm out. Please don't reach out. Then he showed me the screen. Pressed send. Now block her. He did. I left the studio without another word. The third one was trickier. Dark. The banker. Professional. Careful. The one Emily probably thought I'd never suspect. But I had her call logs. I had her calendar. I had our bank statements. And I had LinkedIn. Doug was married. 2 kids. Lived in a nice neighborhood north of the city. Played golf on weekends. Church guy. Image mattered to him. I created a burner email. Set up a fake profile. Used a stock photo. Claimed to be a freelance journalist working on a piece about questionable behavior inside regional banks. Sent the email to his office account with a copy of a receipt showing a dinner between him and Emily, tagged as client development. Next day, I got a reply. "Hi, please call my office. I'd prefer to speak directly." I didn't. Instead, I forwarded that same receipt to his wife's work email. No message. Just the image. Then I sent the Slack screenshots between him and Emily to the anonymous complaint portal on his bank's website. Within 48 hours, his LinkedIn went dark. His bank scrubbed his profile. A vague press release followed, and Mr. Montgomery has chosen to pursue new opportunities. Translation: he got caught. He got dumped. He got fired. 3 down. And then, there was Emily. The final piece. I waited. I watched. She didn't say a word. I think she felt it. The shift. The distance. She tried harder. Made me dinner. Sent flirty texts. Started wearing makeup again at home. Like she knew I was slipping away. She didn't know I already had both feet out the door. One Sunday morning, I told her we were going to dinner with her parents. She lit up. Said, "Finally. They've been asking about you." We showed up right on time. I shook her father's hand. Kissed her mom's cheek. Smiled through small talk. Let Emily pour wine. Let her talk about some fake upcoming vacation she'd planned for us. Then I stood up. Pulled a folder from my coat. "I brought something," I said. I placed it on the table. Her parents looked confused. Emily froze. "Before we eat, I think you should see who your daughter really is." They opened the folder. They saw the screenshots. The timelines. The photos. Emily whispered, "Michael, please." I cut her off. "You've been sleeping with my business partner, your trainer, and your banker. In my house. On my time. With my money." Her mother gasped. Her father stood up. "You leaving tonight?" I said. "This house is mine. Your name's already off the deed. Your credit cards are cancelled. Your things are packed. They are by the door." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. But I felt nothing. Not love. Not hate. Just clarity. I turned to her parents. "I'm sorry you had to see this. But I think you deserve to know." Then I walked out. Got in my truck. And drove. For the first time in weeks? I smiled. After I left that house, I didn't go home. Technically, it was my home, but not that night. I drove west until the lights of the city faded behind me. Pulled off onto a back road. Parked near the river. Sat there in the dark, windows down, listening to the water. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I wasn't anything, really. Just empty in the best possible way. Like something heavy had finally been lifted. I had done it. The plan I built in silence while sleeping next to a woman who had been cheating on me for months, maybe years, had worked. Clean. Precise. No violence. No drama. Just quiet, surgical ruin. Kevin was out of the company. Rick was cut off. Doug had lost his job and probably his marriage. And Emily, she was gone. Bags packed. Phone disconnected. Credit frozen. Her last words to me were, "You've turned into someone I don't recognize." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Over the next few days, I went on autopilot. I showed up to the job site. Gave orders. Met clients. Nodded through small talk. Nobody knew what had happened. I didn't tell anyone. No big announcement. No sad posts. I kept it buried. Quiet. But people started noticing. Kevin was gone. Word got around fast that he'd been let go. No one asked why, not out loud, but I could see it in their faces. Curiosity. Maybe suspicion. I let them wonder. Rumors are more useful than truth. They move faster. Stick harder. Rick's gym started bleeding clients. Turns out, I wasn't the only husband with questions. One guy came up to me at a hardware store and said, "Hey, you hear about that trainer at Fit House? Got caught sleeping with one of his clients. Lost half his contracts." I shrugged. Said I didn't know anything. Then I got in my truck and smiled all the way home. As for Doug, I saw a brief post from his wife a week later. One of those vague, heavy-worded things, as some people choose lies over loyalty. But truth always wins. 3 days after that, her account was private. I figured she found the rest of the story. I didn't need to check. And Emily? She disappeared from social media. Deleted everything. Our mutual friends started messaging me. What happened? Is everything okay? Did you two separate? I left them on read. Let the silence do the talking. But one message stood out. It was from her sister, Megan. She wrote, "I don't know what happened between you two, but I just want to say, I'm sorry. Emily's been lying to a lot of people for a long time. You didn't deserve any of it." I replied, Thank you. That means more than you know." She hearted it. That was all. No speeches. No drama. Just peace. 2 weeks passed. Then came the email. It was from Emily. Subject line, "Closure?" I stared at it for a full minute. Didn't open it. Just hovered. Then, finally, I clicked. The message was short. "I know I don't deserve your time. But I wanted you to know. I'm not with any of them. Not Kevin. Not Rick. Not Doug. I've been staying with a friend. I lost everything. And I know it's my fault. I'm not asking for anything. Just, if there's even a small part of you that can forgive me someday, I'll wait. I'm sorry. Truly." I read it 3 times. Not because it moved me. But because I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing some hidden angle. A trick. A trap. There wasn't one. It was genuine. But it didn't matter. I closed the email. Archived it. Didn't reply. She had her closure. Mine had come the moment I locked the front door behind her. Life settled. Slowly. The house was quieter. Cleaner. I changed the furniture. Donated our old bed. Got rid of the wedding photos. Took down the canvas print she picked out from some Etsy shop that said, "Love grows here." Yeah. Not anymore. I started sleeping better. Woke up early. Cooked for myself. Real food. Eggs, toast, black coffee, the way I liked it before everything got complicated. I went for walks. Played the old blues records I hadn't touched in years. Even took the dog out more often. She used to bark when Emily came home. Now she slept peacefully on the couch. I took that as a sign. People asked questions. Friends. Neighbors. Co-workers. "Where's Emily these days?" Out, I'd say. Gone. No one pushed. But a few nodded like they knew. Or guest. Or maybe they just respected the fact that I wasn't broadcasting my pain for attention. One afternoon, I stopped by a local diner. Same place Emily and I used to eat on Sundays. The waitress, older lady named Joyce, gave me a long look as she poured my coffee. "Haven't seen your wife in a while," she said softly. "She's not coming back," I answered. Joyce gave a slow nod. "Shame. I always liked you better." We both smiled. Around week 3, I got a message request on Facebook. Random name. No profile picture. I almost ignored it. But something told me to check. It was Kevin. I don't know what to say, man. I'm messed up. I lost my job. I lost your friendship. I've been drinking a lot. Trying to figure out how I got here. I know you hate me. I don't blame you. But I wanted you to hear it from me. I'm sorry. Truly. I didn't reply. Not out of spite. But because there was nothing left to say. He'd made his choice. Just like she did. And I had made mine. About a month after it all went down, I stood in the driveway, watching the sunset. My neighbor, Paul, walked over, holding a beer. "Man, it's been quiet around here," he said. "Yeah," I replied. "Finally." He took a sip. "You seem good." I looked at him. "I am." Then I raised my own bottle. Tapped his. "To new beginnings," I said. He smiled. Damn right. But deep down, I knew something else. This wasn't just an ending. It was a warning. You can build a life with someone. Give them everything. Share your name. Your money. Your home. But the one thing you can't give them is integrity. That's earned. And once they throw it away, there's no getting it back. It was a Thursday afternoon when I saw her again. For weeks since I'd told her to leave. For weeks of silence. Then, suddenly, she was standing at my front door like nothing ever happened. I'd just come back from a job site. Kicked off my boots. Turned on the coffee maker. The house smelled like cedar and dust. Peaceful. Quiet. Mine. Then the doorbell rang. At first, I thought it was a delivery. I'd ordered new tools the day before. But when I looked through the window, there she was. Emily. Standing there. Hair tied back. No makeup. Wearing that old navy blue sweater she used to steal from my closet. The one that still smelled like my cologne. She looked smaller. Not physically, but diminished. Like something in her had folded in. I opened the door, but didn't say a word. "Hi," she said. I didn't respond. "I know I shouldn't be here," she added, voice trembling slightly. "But I didn't know how else to reach you. You're not answering anything." I stayed silent. She glanced down. Took a deep breath. "I've been going to therapy," she said. "Every week since everything happened." I raised an eyebrow. "I'm not asking to come back," she said quickly. I need to say some things. I need to look you in the eye and say it." I stepped aside. Not to invite her in. Just to let her speak without blocking the porch for the neighbors to see. She looked surprised. But didn't move. Just stood there, fingers twisting around each other. "I was wrong," she said. "I know that sounds obvious, but I need you to hear me say it. What I did wasn't just betrayal. It was selfish. And cowardly. And disgusting. And I see it now. All of it. Kevin. Rick. dark. I thought I was in control. I thought I was managing things. But really, I was just spiraling. Still, I said nothing. She swallowed. When you showed my parents everything, I thought I hated you. I was humiliated. Furious. But now I get it. You didn't humiliate me. I did that to myself. You just turned on the lights. She wiped a tear from her cheek. I lost everything. My job. My savings. My reputation. People talk. Word got out. My boss said he couldn't keep me. Said it was a morale issue. My parents won't even speak to me. Another pause. Another breath. But the worst part isn't any of that. The worst part is knowing I hurt the one person who never gave me a reason to doubt him. I used to look at you and think, he's too steady. Too good. Too predictable. I thought I needed excitement. Something dangerous. And I ruined a whole life over it. Still quiet. Still watching her. She finally looked up. I want to make it right. Not for me. For you. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect to be your wife again. I just want to know how I can fix what I broke. I let her words hang in the air for a long time. Then I spoke. Why now? She blinked. What? You could have sent that in a message. You could have said all this in that email. Why come here now, a month later? She hesitated. Because I didn't know how bad it would feel without you. I nodded. There it is. What? I stepped forward. My voice was calm. Not angry. Just firm. You didn't come here to help me. You came here because your world fell apart and I was the last thing that made you feel safe. She didn't deny it. I continued. When I was with you, I ignored the signs. I told myself I was being paranoid. That I had a good woman. That you were just stressed, or busy, or tired. And all the while, you were building a second life. One that had no place for me in it. She looked away. I don't hate you, Emily, I said. I really don't. But I don't trust you. And I never will again. And that means there's no future here. Not as husband and wife. Not as friends. Not as anything. She nodded slowly. Silent tears ran down her face. You once told me I was too calm, I said. Too predictable. That I didn't challenge you. And you were right. I didn't want to challenge you. I wanted to protect you. To build something stable. Something real. But you weren't looking for real. You were looking for distraction. I stepped back into the doorway. I hope therapy helps. I hope you rebuild. I hope you become someone better than who you were with me. But don't come back here again. That chapter's closed. She opened her mouth. Then stopped. Just nodded. She turned. Walked down the steps. Got into a silver car I didn't recognize. And drove away. That night, I slept better than I had in years. Not because I had closure. But because I'd given it to myself. She came for something. But I kept what was mine. A few days later, I boxed up the last of her things. Old letters. Trinkets. Photos. I didn't burn them. Didn't shred them. I just put them away. A sealed box. A finished story. Then I bought new bedding. New towels. Rearranged the furniture. Not for comfort. For ownership. This was my house now. My life. My rules. And I was just getting started. It's strange, the way quiet can feel loud after a storm. My house was peaceful now. Clean. Still. But every sound felt sharper. The creak of the floorboards. The hum of the fridge. The wind brushing the windows at night. It wasn't emptiness. It was space. Space I hadn't felt in years. I started making small changes. Bought a new coffee maker. Switched from medium roast to dark. Rearranged the office. Moved the couch. Got rid of the throw pillows she used to hoard. I painted the hallway. A darker color. Rich navy. Felt more like me. And for the first time in years, I started living on my own terms. I worked fewer hours. Let my team take over more. Started cooking again. Real food. Not takeout. Not pre-cut salads. Real meat. Real vegetables. Real fire. I remembered what it felt like to enjoy silence, not just survive it. One day, I walked into a local bookstore. I hadn't been in one since college. I wandered through the shelves like I was in a museum. I didn't know what I was looking for, maybe nothing. Maybe just peace. That's when I met her. She worked the counter. Brown hair, loosely tied. Soft voice. Comfortable smile. Her name was Claire. She asked if I needed help. I said I wasn't sure. She said, "That's the best kind of browsing." We talked for 10 minutes about books. Then somehow ended up talking about coffee, weather, and how annoying downtown parking had gotten. It felt natural. No pressure. No subtext. Just people being people. I left with a book I probably wasn't going to read. But I also left with something else. Her name. Her number. And a feeling I hadn't felt in a long time, curiosity. Over the next few weeks, we talked. Texted. Met for coffee. Then lunch. No games. No tension. Just easy, open conversation. She was funny in a dry, quiet way. She liked thunderstorms. Hated small talk. Loved her dog more than most humans. I respected that. I didn't tell her everything. Not yet. Just enough. That I'd been through a divorce. That it ended badly. That I was healing. She didn't pry. Didn't push. She just listened. And that made me want to share more. One night, we sat in her backyard. Lanterns glowing softly. Dog sleeping near her feet. She handed me a glass of red wine. Looked me in the eye. "Do you think you'll ever trust someone again?" she asked. I didn't answer right away. "Honestly?" I said. "I don't know." She nodded. No judgment. Just honesty. "That's fair," she said. "But you don't have to rush it." And that was the moment I realized something. I wasn't broken. I was bruised. And bruises fade, slowly, quietly, but surely. Emily reached out again. Another email. Shorter this time. Just wanted to say thank you. For not fighting. For not humiliating me more than I deserved. I'm in therapy. Still working on it. I hope you're okay. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. She was part of the story. But not the chapter one was writing now. A week later, Claire asked if I wanted to go hiking. It was a Sunday. Same day Emily used to call our reset day. Now it belonged to me again. We drove out early. Pine trees. Clear skies. No traffic. Just fresh air and open trail. She didn't rush. Didn't pose for photos. She just walked beside me, like she'd been there for years. At one point, we reached a clearing. View of the hills. Breeze cutting through the heat. Claire turned to me. "I know you're still holding back," she said. I didn't deny it. "But that's okay," she added. "I'm not here to fix anything. I just like walking next to you." I smiled. And for the first time since everything fell apart, I felt something settle inside me. Like a door closing. Quietly. Finally. But closure doesn't mean forgetting. One afternoon, I walked past a coffee shop downtown and saw Kevin inside. Alone. Unshaven. Wearing the same hoodie from 2 months ago. He didn't see me. Just stared at his phone. I watched him for a second, then kept walking. I felt nothing. Not anger. Not satisfaction. Just distance. That night, I told Claire about it. She asked, "Did you want to say anything?" "No," I said. "What for?" She nodded. "Then you're free." And maybe I was. Maybe that's what freedom really is, not shouting your pain into someone's face, but walking past them like they never had power over you. Claire never tried to replace what I lost. She didn't rush me. Didn't compare. She just let me breathe. And that was more than enough. She didn't ask me to move in. Didn't ask about marriage. We just existed. Side by side. Coffee in the morning. Conversations at night. Sometimes deep. Sometimes quiet. But always real. And that was the thing. Real. Not perfect. Just honest. And after everything, honest was the only thing I craved. It had been 3 months since everything ended. Summer turned to fall. The air got cooler. Leaves changed. The streets looked different somehow. Not because they were, but because I was. I saw things clearer now. Faces. Signs. Patterns. The way people move when they lie. The silence between their words. I wasn't bitter anymore. I was aware. I still ran the company. Still showed up every morning. But I worked less. Delegated more. Took Fridays off. Sometimes I'd drive out to the lake and just sit. No music. No calls. Just air and time. Claire was still around. She never asked for more than I could give. Some weeks we saw each other every day. Other times, not at all. And that was okay. She understood space. Understood that trust was like a muscle, you don't fix it overnight. You rebuild it. Slowly. Carefully. With silence and truth. But even with peace settling in, part of me still waited. For what? I didn't know. Maybe for the next hit. The next surprise. When your world gets pulled out from under you once, your brain doesn't forget. It keeps scanning. Watching. Waiting. And then it came. Not the surprise I expected. Worse. It was a knock on my door. Monday. Late afternoon. I was home early. Rain outside. The smell of sawdust still clinging to my jacket. I opened the door. And there she was. Emily. But not like before. She wasn't shaking. She wasn't crying. She wasn't begging. She was smiling. A soft, calm, almost rehearsed smile. "Hi, Michael, she said. Can I come in? I didn't answer right away. Just stood there. Watched her. She had a brown coat. Hair loose. No makeup again. But she looked put together. And that was the part that unsettled me. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly. Looked around. It's different, she said. It's mine, I replied. She nodded. Touched the edge of the dining table, a new one. One she didn't pick out. I didn't come to fight, she said. Good, I said. She turned. Looked at me. I came to give you something. She reached into her bag and pulled out a stack of papers. Neatly bound. She handed it to me. I looked down. It was a full written statement. Everything. All of it. A full confession. Names. Dates. Messages. Bank transfers. The works. I sent this to your lawyer too, she said. I didn't want you fighting for anything in court. I don't want the house. I don't want the company shares. I just want you to be free. I flipped through the first few pages. She even signed it. Notarized. This wasn't a trick. It was real. You didn't have to do this, I said. She shrugged. I did. For me. For you. For everything I destroyed. She paused. I've spent the last 2 months in a rehab center. Not for drugs. For behavior. For patterns. For lying. I didn't go because I wanted to win you back. I went because I finally looked in the mirror and couldn't stand who I'd become. I nodded slowly. I'm not here to change anything, she added. I'm not here to fix us. I know there's no us. Not anymore. I just wanted to end it the right way. I folded the papers. Set them on the table. Thank you, I said. We stood in silence. Then she smiled again. This time smaller. Sadder. You look good, she said. Healthier. I smiled. I am. She turned. Walked to the door. Hand on the handle. She stopped. Looked back. I loved you, Michael, she said. I just didn't know how to be someone worth loving back. Then she left. I stood there for a while. Holding nothing. Feeling everything. Later that night, I told Claire. She listened. Quiet. No judgment. Then she said something I'll never forget. She gave you peace. And you earned it. We didn't talk much more after that. Just sat close. Breathing. Existing. And I realized that sometimes, closure doesn't come from slamming a door shut. It comes from seeing the other person leave, and not needing them to turn around. Weeks passed. Then one morning, I woke up, walked into the kitchen, and looked around. There was no memory of her anymore. Just walls. Windows. Light. I brewed coffee. Took it out to the porch. Sat down. Listened to birds. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was rebuilding something. I felt like I was already whole. Not because someone filled in the cracks. But because I stopped hiding them. Some scars don't fade. They teach. And me? I was done learning. Now I was living.